Hi, it's Kiffin Lobates here, and in today's video I'm going to be providing you with a short checklist that allows you to assess whether or not you want to hire a particular Web3 development company to implement the front end for your smart contract or your dApp. And the reason why you're going to need this checklist is because there are a lot of traditional web development companies out there who have noticed that there's a frenzy of activity going on in the blockchain and Web3 space, and therefore prices are at a premium rate and they want in on the action. Now, the problem you have as the client or the hiring party is that you do not want to be the company that is paying for a traditional web development company to go through the learning curve of what is involved in developing a Web3 front end to a smart contract. And therefore, you need a simple checklist in order to make sure that they have a basic understanding of what it is that they're supposed to be doing. So without further ado, here comes the checklist. The first thing you do is ask for samples of previous work. Because if the web development company can't provide you with samples of previous work, that is pretty strong evidence that you are their first client in this space. And as I've said, you don't want to be in that position. Now, let's say they do give you samples of their previous work. Well, now you have some things that you can check, and you can check them pretty quickly and easily. The first one is to go to their sample site and see if you can connect your wallet. And in particular, one thing that you can check is that if you go to the site connected to the wrong chain with your wallet, that the site handles that gracefully. So if it's a project on the Ethereum mainnet, switch your wallet to Polygon or to Binance Smart Chain and then try and connect and see what the site does. If it handles that gracefully, the next thing to check is that the site actually displays the correct address that you have used to connect to the site. If they don't show the address on the site, that is a simple oversight that's an indicator that they may not know what it is that they're supposed to be doing. A third thing to check is, for example, if the site implements a new ERC20 token, does it provide a button to add that new coin to your wallet? That's just a convenience thing, but if it's missing, well, it's not that hard a thing to implement, and therefore it's a red flag if they haven't bothered to do it. And then the fourth thing is to go through the workflow that the sample site shows. Yes, if you're on Ethereum mainnet, then you may end up spending a couple of $100 or euros in fees, but that's a small price to pay for ending up with an incompetent company doing your web front end for you. And if that workflow goes through well, that's all great and good. Then another thing to do is check that they will give you access to the source code of your site. Now, you may not know how to assess code, but hopefully there will be other people in your company who can, and that means that they can be used to review your Web3 development company's work as it goes along, rather than finding out at the end of the process that you've been sold a second-rate website. And then the final thing is, during the project, note that your smart contract developer should be providing you with a test deployment of the contract. So that'll be, for example, on something like the Rinkeby network or the Ropsten network. And your Web3 development company should be testing that their interface to that contract actually works. And this means that you can go to a site such as Etherscan and check on a daily or at least weekly basis whether or not there are transactions going through on the test contract. Because if there aren't, that means that your Web3 developers aren't properly testing your site. And again, that is a bad thing. So there you go, a short and simple checklist on how to assess any Web3 development company that you're thinking of subcontracting for your dApp or Web3 project. I hope you found this useful, and I'll see you in the next video soon. Bye for now.